Hello Flosstube, my name is Mariam, my pronouns are she, her. You may know me as Marroomycrafts on Instagram or Marroomy on Gumroad. Welcome to my Flosstube. This is episode number 7. It's mostly about WIPs, but we're gonna go over one finish and one FFO, and then I will have some investment toward the ends. And we're gonna talk about some plans for coming month, but nothing major, because I'm gonna have another video later next month coming all about plans for 2023. Yep, I can't still believe it, but here we are. Okay, so let's just start. I'm gonna start with FFO. I actually finished 3 objects of the same thing, but I don't have the other 2. I already gave them away. That's the whole point of making these. But I have one that I make for myself. So here it is. Yep. Zoom. Oh. Okay. Guess you can see it better from before actually. Here it is. It's daffodil. This was part of like a bookmark design. I'm gonna later on actually share it in my WIPs because I'm still technically working on these, but I'm planning on making many more of these. So daffodil reminds me of my grandpa who passed away last year, and I thought about just using Minecraft as a way to remember him. So I'm making these little daffodils, and I'm planning on sending them to friends and family who actually loved him and want a reminder of him basically in their life. So this one is mine. Actually I already gave one to my brother, one to my mother, but I'm gonna make many more of these. The pattern is from Pegasussigns on Etsy. It's a stitch on 20 count white Aida using one strand of, I'm actually using like a collection of like 5 different like mystery threads. I'm just matching them. I matched them based on the DMC numbers that was offered in the chart, and I just picked one like those colors that match them best, and I finishing them as these keychains. So I put a little bit of like a paper on the back, and then on the front is the cross stitch. So yeah, I'm planning on making many more of these. Okay, that's the only FFO I have. Then have a big finish to share with you. Yeah, my black vintage sampler from OwlForest Embroidery is done. Yes. So I stitched this on 18 count Aida. This is an Aida, like cheap Aida that I bought when I started the stitching. It's hand dyed, but it's super stiff and it was really difficult to work with. This is like cheap Aida, so it's not really easy to stitch on, and it frays the thread like crazy. So I'm not planning on stitching anything on, like I think I have one more piece that I bought like together with this. I'm not sure if I'm actually gonna use that fabric now, but here it is. I use Sulky in 1005 black, and then 1189, which is my favorite, red chestnut. So here's my finish. Let me show you the back too. So I'm sort of proud of the back. So here's the back. So just a little bit messy on a few parts, but overall not bad, huh? Not bad. Okay, let me put this away. And I forgot to tell you about the size of that pattern, the Black Vintage Sampler. It was 191 by 353. So I think so far that's the largest pattern, largest design I have like stitched, completed. All right, so now we're going to talk about WIPs. And it's sort of like, this is like WIP parade, so I'm not just showing you WIPs that I have worked on since the last time, since my last Flosstube. It's all of my WIPs. All right, so let's start with the Pegasus. So this one. So this is the daffodil bookmark. So as you see, it's a bookmark, right? So I basically just stitch one of these. I'm planning on continuing to do so. On the original design, there is no backstitch around the actual flower, but I noticed that the yellow I chose is too light, so it doesn't really show. So I decided to go with my orange color from the center and go around the actual flower too. So it's just a little bit like adjustment. All right, and I'm stitching on like a leftover fabric, and finally got the chance to use my smallest nurse hoop, which is this tiny little thing. So yeah, I'm stitching on this leftover Ada, and when I finish this, I actually have more leftover 20 count, some of them in different colors, so we'll see. Some of the daffodils will have will be stitched on different fabric. They will all be on 20 counts because I like the size of the flower is the small and dainty, and I don't have any issue like fitting it in this little like frame. Yeah. Next is the Spirits of the Dead by Modern Folk Embroidery. It's Edgar Allan Poe coat. Let me show you this. This is what I have been working on mostly lately. So I have finished page 1, and then I jumped down. I usually go for like page to page, so I am supposed to go to page 2, but I don't like to have like all the heaviest stuff done at the beginning, and it's like too much, and I was worried that I'm gonna burn out. So instead I went down. So this is page 3 at the bottom. And I'm stitching this on 18 count fabric flare in Christmas red damask. It's a printed fabric, so fabric flare is printed. And I'm stitching it with sulky. Let me show you the actual thread. This is sulky parchment. It's 4001, so that's the thread I'm using. Yeah, and the size of the design is 171 in 145. Yep, we have a visitor. Hold on. Oh no, this is Asad. He's here to say hi. Hi, Mama. Sorry for the interruption. Okay, next project. I'm gonna actually insert the photo here. It's Modern Folk Embroidery Fruits of Plenty. Back to this. So I finished page 7. I need to start the initial, but I want to start page 8. Then I'm going to go back and add the initial, start of the initial here. So M will go here. and this is 20 count Ada charcoal, and I am using two different sulky 12 weights. One is, let me tell you the numbers. So the red is Christmas red 1147, and the other one is called Deep Jewels 4111. So it goes from blue, purple, and pink. So I really love this combination. It's beautiful. Yep. I really was adamant to finish this project this year, but I mean, I'm not going to put a lot of pressure on myself. If I finish it, that will be great. I still have like 5 pages left. If I don't finish it, that's fine too. Next project is my only full coverage. Is The Flavor of Autumn by Mary Weaver. If you go back to, I will say I addressed it, mentioned it in my very first Flosstube, and then the follow-up on the second Flosstube, you can basically see the journey of how I found this pattern. I originally bought the knockoff. When I just started stitching, I didn't know anything about copyright issues, and I assumed that all companies are really ethical. It turned out that no. So the pattern that I had was it was one of those stamped canvases. I have started like a right corner on that, and then I realized that it might not be really licensed. So I started searching, and one of the viewers actually came up. Like I was searching and I couldn't find anything. So if you see, this is Flavors of Autumn. It's like an assortment of pickles, right? So that was the keyword I was using. I was looking for pickles, but I couldn't find anything. So one of the viewers actually left a comment and helped me find the designer, and was able to find a seller on Etsy from Ukraine who had, and I confirmed with her that she has these patterns in PDF form licensed, because the only other way that you can actually buy these patterns is from a seller in Canada, like the website that sells all Mary Weaver patterns, like in a kit form. So you have to buy the whole kit. And I didn't want to do that because I already had a kit and I had the threads from that kit, and I just wanted to use those threads. So I just searched for the pattern and I just bought the pattern, ended up buying the PDF. And I'm using the same threads that came in the original kit that I bought, because I mean, there's nothing wrong with the with the threads, and they're actually matched, like except for 2 that were substitutes in terms of like the colors that were called for. The rest are the exact same colors that are called for, so why would I just change that? So I'm stitching it on 20 count white Ada, 2/1 and intense stitch. So this is the first page done. So you see, these are the cucumber pickles, right? I really enjoy the stitching this, and I want to get back to it. I'm hoping to accomplish, I don't want to say like finish it next year, because who knows, there's so many shiny new things that I know I'm going to be distracted, but I really do want to finish this. And I have the company like pattern for this, which is like a Taste of Autumn. No, that one is a Taste of Summer, which are assortment of jams. So yeah, I do want to finish this so I can start the other one. And this is on, let me see what's the size. It's 377 by 156. So it is big in count, but because I'm stitching it at 20 count fabric, it's actually not going to be that big, as you saw. Next is Tom's Flurry by Hands Across the Sea. I don't remember who showed this in their Flosstube, but I saw someone actually talking about this pattern and how weird it is, and then I agree. Just look at it. So imaginative. And this is like I'm guessing the person, I have to actually read the intro as well. But I think this is a 8 years. The person who actually stitches was 8 years old. So you can see the imagination and that explosion of colors. So I just love it. The only thing that I'm going to change is on this corner, there's Adam and Eve. I'm going to change those two. It's not going to have Adam and Eve. I'm probably going to have like 2 people there, but I'm going to clothe them and make them look different. Yeah. And this is a stitch on 20 count blue cashmere using my own sulky conversion. So I started on page 1. I'm in the border. Hoping to stitch more on it next year. That's like a general like hope that I have for all of my WIPs, that I hopefully be able to finish them or get them as close as I can to finish next year. Next is Peppermint Purple Sal for 2022. This is black work. Let's see, where's the top? Here. So I need to catch up. Planning on finishing this year, as it should be. So these are like weekly drops. I'm not that behind. I actually have this stitch up to, I would say, last week of October. So I'm not that behind. So no. Did I stitch October? I think I think so. So yeah, I don't have a lot left. So the colorful, the one you see in the middle, that thread is 12 ways sulky in primaries. The number is 4106. And the other one, the border, is in Navy Admiral Blue, and the number is 1199. And the fabric I'm stitching on is 16 count Ada in light coffee. I use light coffee a lot. I actually, when I started, I bought like a whole bunch of like pieces of light coffee in 18 and 16 count. So I have a lot of it left. Next is La Capote by Bella Filipina, and this is my working copy. I actually have the original. That's what I usually what I do almost always. I don't think I have ever stitched from the actual pattern. I don't think so. So what I like, because I'm a little bit of control freak, and I don't like to mess up the pattern, I make a copy. So I use my working copy. So that's my working copy. So yeah, like a potty. She's beautiful. And I am stitching this. Let me tell you the size as well. Oh, I think, yeah, it's 185 and 300. So it's big. Big for me. This is my first fancy lady. Alright, so I stitched it on, I'm stitching it on 18 count Mystic Fabric Ada in Opal Light Sky Yennefer. And see how beautiful the fabric is, how it's sparkly. Yeah, let me get it closer to you. So I finished first 2 pages, which includes her face. And it's all called for thread except for beads, because I don't do beading. So what I do is I actually replace all the beads with Petite Treasure braid. Yep. All the sparkle. And it's a sparkle and a sparkle on top of a sparkle. So never enough of sparkle. Right? So yeah, I love how she looks. She looks good. I would love to finish her next year because I really do want to finish her and then be able to start the companion, which Bella Filipina released recently. Last WIP is my own design, Sepide. So when I released this at the beginning of October, it was like at the height, like at the beginning of the uprising in Iran. And I really wanted to I was working on a pattern that was like not this at all, for winter solstice, Yalda, which is like holiday that we celebrate. So she was supposed to be an angel, and angel of light, to it was like for celebration of Yalda. However, during that process and considering what was happening in Iran, my design evolved and this was the outcome. It's a woman that embodies light. This is Yalda night. So Yalda symbolizes not only darkness, but it's the darkest night of the year. Within it has the hope for future and light, because after Yalda, days get longer and nights get shorter, and then we will eventually have a spring, right? So yes, it's at the beginning of winter, but within it has the promise of better future and warmer days. So yeah, I designed her embodying light. It's in a dark night. It's a Yalda night. Has pomegranate. And then there was a half verse at the bottom by Saadi, famous Iranian poet, that says, صبح صادق ندمد تا شب یلدا نرود, which means that the true morning, the promise of true morning will not come until Yalda night is over. So, which means that before we get to good days, we have to go through these dark and bitter days. So I designed this in honor of Iranian woman. And Nitya from Daybreak Stitchery actually started a sale. It's Sepide Rising sale. By the way, Sepide means that the first light that break through the darkness in the morning. So it's the light that you see before sunrise. It's called Sepide Rising Sal, hosted by Nitya from Daybreak Stitchery. So you're welcome to follow the link in my Gumroad, get the pattern, and stitch along. I am stitching it on fiber on a whim, 18 count, night sky. So it looks like a stormy night. And I'm using Petite Silk Lame Glow in the Dark White. So it's both silky, sparkly, and glows in the dark. If there is an extra thread, it is this. So you have the combination of everything. Sparkle, the glow in the dark, and silk. All at once. Yeah. So I finished the border on the first page. And the size of Sepide is 164 in 260. And just a heads up, if you decided to stitch it in silk lame, just like me, at the beginning when I was stitching it, my stitches looked really messy. But then I started using wax because I remembered that I have some that I use for my petit treasure braid on Lakapati. So I used it and it works like a charm. So makes my stitching more enjoyable and really easier. So this was the end of my WIPs. So now I have one a start and then two that I'm planning to start pretty shortly. So let's start with the newest start first. It's Ornate Pomegranate by NightSpiritStudio. I love this pattern. I actually was planning on stitching this for winter solstice anyway, which is in a month. I mean, shorter than a month. A few days before Christmas. I was watching Nitya last night and she was going through her patterns and her WIPs and talking about plans and all of that, and I know she was talking about not wanting to start anything and wanting to just stick to her WIPs, but she has many more WIPs than me, so I don't know, it just inspired me to start. I just had this like sudden urge to start something new, so I just watching her video. By the way, watch her video. I just will link her below. Watching her video, I just went ahead and put together my fabric, my thread, and I actually started it. That's how excited I was. Let me show you. So I'm starting it. I started it on 18 count. I'm stitching it on 18 count Aida. This used to be yellow. This is one of those really stiff Aidas, but it actually now is still stiff, but it's not as stiff as the other one because I overdyed it. The process of overdying, and then I think the liquid that you use to stabilize the color, that one breaks down the fabric in a way because it makes it softer and more pliable. So that's what happened to this, and I'm happy. I might actually do that to the rest of those like stiff Aida that I have. So this is I know it looks like black, but it's not really black. It's navy, and it has like black mottling all across it. I'm using leftover mystery threads from whatever I have in my stash, so they don't have names. It's like it was truly mystery. It was a bag of threads that I bought, and they don't have names or anything. So yeah, that's how far I have come. And let me show you the colors, threads I'm using. Okay, let me see if I can hold them all up. Let's see if I can put this. Yes, these are my colors. Okay. So that's it for new start. That's the only one that I started last night, and I am planning on finishing it soon because it's small, so it should be easy to finish. Now let's talk about plans. I have two other patterns that I want to start soon. Let me see if I can get the threads out. First one is this. Let's Tetris. Another thing that Nitya actually inspired me. She finished hers and it looks brilliant and beautiful. So I was really inspired because I had this in my stash now for almost a year. It is a year, maybe more. And I really wanted to stitch it. But for some reason I was putting it off. So it's classic Tetris, which is Palestinian embroidery and cross stitch. So I'm using another piece of that same Ada that I overdyed. This one has more mottling, and you can see that it was originally yellow. Yeah, so that's the fabric. And I'm using those mystery threads, and my threads are these two. So yep, the variegated pink and red. And the last pattern that I have as a plan to start is from 2x2 Stitches on Etsy. It's a Ukrainian designer. A lot of her patterns, I think it's her, a lot of her patterns are huge. They're beautiful, but they're really big. So I originally bought a few, and they're super cheap, by the way. And I originally bought them with the hope to stitch the whole thing, but then again, Nitya with her inspiration, she has the same pattern, but I think she's planning on just stitching the top. I'm showing it from this far because she doesn't have a cover image of the pattern. This is the actual one-page pattern. She has I think few different options for how many pages, like how big and detailed you want the pattern. The one that I printed out to stitch from is the 16-page option, but I think it goes up to 24, which is like super big. But this is the one on the cover is the one-page option. Yeah, I mean, there's no way that you can copy this stitch from. If you do, you deserve an award. But please don't. So anyway, so I'm not gonna stitch the whole thing. Nitya is stitching the top. I think I'm gonna stitch this little thing here just to see how big this pattern is. This little thing is 110 or 115 by 115 or something like that. So yep, this is big. This is really big. So I'm gonna just stitch this one. And I chose PeruvianFlair in Sunburst, which is this yellow. It's 18 count. So it's fabric flare, so it's printed. It's a hand-dyed effect. It's super yellow. And let me see if I can show you the whole thing. Yeah. So these are my color choices. Let me tell you the numbers. So this one is 1293. This one is 1230. This one is 0621. And this one is 0192. Actually matches my scarf and lipstick. Yay! So yeah, planning on stitching this sometime before the end of the year, and I'm housing it in this my latest project bag that I made. All right, investments. First, I'm gonna insert the photo of the first investment, which was a big purchase. I have to say the biggest, most expensive purchase that I have made so far when it comes to stitchy stuff. So yeah, I bought a stand. I bought a cake creation stand with the tablet holder. So I'm gonna insert the photo here. So yeah, I stitch, my Stitchy corner is a recliner. So I usually stitch in my recliner, and a lot of those like regular stands don't work. don't work. And Lowry is not long enough, the arm, to work. Not only cake creation is longer, the arm is long, but also, and I didn't know that until I actually contacted them, you can ask for the hand, for the arm, the horizontal arm, to be longer or shorter, and they can do that free of charge. They actually did that for me free of charge. So I asked for them to lengthen the horizontal arm 4 more inches. So they said it's usually around 15 inches. I added 4 inch to it, so now it's 19-inch long. So now it's really long, and it's long enough for me to have my stand on my left, the left side of my recliner. And I don't have one of those tiny little recliners because I'm a big girl. So I have one of those heavy duty big recliners. And I do have my stand on my left, because my right hand I have my table, I have tons of stuff on it. I don't want to make it even more crowded with having this stand on that side, so I have my stand on my left, and I have the arm, because it's so long, it comes like all the way in front of me, even goes past, like I can technically lean on the side, and if I have it like completely extended, it's super long, and I love it. Over the past month, I have had a lot of issues with my arm and my elbow and my wrist, my right hand in general. And there had been a lot of pressure on it, and I had to, from time to time, just stop stitching or stitching less. And I have almost stopped diamond painting, just in a hope that if I put less pressure on my hand, I can reverse the damage that I done to it. Because I went really hard on it in October, and I stitched a lot and I diamond painted a lot, and that put a lot of pressure on my arm and my hand. So now sort of I'm paying for that. So having the stand will hopefully help me a lot and ease that pain, and I'll be able to stitch easier and more comfortably. I would say it was 8, 9, 10 weeks ago that I purchased it, and it took me 8 weeks to receive it. And then when I received it, and here's to the good customer service. So when I received my stand originally, I realized the arm that was supposed to be 4 inch longer is actually 3 inch or 2 inch shorter. So the arm was 13 inches instead of it being 19. So it was way shorter. So I messaged them. I received my stand on a Saturday. I messaged them right away. I took a photo showing them the size using the measuring tape. And Monday morning, I received a response with an apology, and they said that they sent me the new tracking number, and they said that the new arm will be dispatched the day after, like the Tuesday. It was dispatched on Tuesday, and I received it on Wednesday. So fast shipping and great communication, fantastic customer service. I highly recommend their store on Etsy. I don't know if you can actually purchase them from anywhere else, but I mean, the only experience I had with them was on their store on Etsy. So that was the biggest purchase or investment. Next, I did have other purchases. Let me start with this one. So Sarah from Notorious Needle, in one of her most recent Flosstubes, she showed this book. And I have seen this in secondhand. It's a Joan Elliott beautiful, bewitching cross stitch. And I saw that before. So this enabling is twofold. One, because I saw the book, but before I saw the book, I followed the journey of EJ when she was stitching Mother Moon, and I was really intrigued, and I really said to myself, if I ever want to attempt something that full coverage, I will definitely stitch it. Then I saw this that someone else was stitching, which is the father-son. And I was like, oh yeah, now I have to have both. So I went on 1-2-3 Stitch, and I saw that, I mean, the patterns are all offered separately. You can buy them. You can pay $12, I think, or $14 or something like that each, and you can buy them separately. So this is the dragon that is on the cover. But then later I saw Sarah shared this book that she actually has, and that it contains both of those patterns and more, right? And a lot of those patterns come with, I mean, there's this, I'm not really interested in this. A lot of those patterns come with smaller patterns that are accompanying the main one. Let me show you. Here's Mother Moon. Oh. And then there was this, the black cat, you see? See, that black cat comes with these small patterns too. So I might not stitch the whole thing, but I may stitch these, right? Yeah. And yeah, we got to Mother Moon. Yeah. So this is the main reason, but I'm interested in stitching father-son too. So the Mother Moon comes with this. So Sarah was stitching this on a t-shirt, and then her dog ate it. Yeah. So yeah, I bought this secondhand from eBay. I think I paid maybe $11.99 or $12 for it, and the shipping was free, and I got it in 2 days. Yep. Then the last piece of my Expo pre-orders came from Abby, TopKnotStitcher. This was a 18 count Ada by Needle Bling Designs in Creme de Menthe. And it's this green, which is not that washed out. You know that drill. It's much deeper than this, but it's a nice green. It's a mid-tone green, I would say. It's not mint by any means. So yeah, and then that. This is one that I actually bought, and it was supposed to be shared last Flosstube, but I forgot somehow. So I bought this Yule Cat by Modern Fork Embroidery. Love the story behind it. I love how these like legends are so wacky and scary. The thinking that kids grew up with these, hilarious and terrifying at the same time. So the cat is terrifying. Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm gonna stitch the whole thing. The whole thing is so big. I might just, oh yeah, we have a visitor. I might stitch just the black cat. It's weird, such a weird black cat. Yeah. Okay. Before I go through the rest of my patterns, Jessie from MislaidPages had their most recent drop of hand-dyed fabric. They're awesome, ice dyed, and I bought 2 pieces of 20 count Ada of this colorway. They had another colorway, autumn something, that was really beautiful too, but that was not offered in Ada of what I, you know, was mainly I think 32 count. So yeah, I bought 2 pieces because I could not resist, and it came with their floss drop. Let me open these so you can see them. So this is the first one. I know, right? It's like a piece of art. I just need to frame that. But yeah, I can totally see myself like stitching on it. The majority of my designs are, my own designs are monochrome designs. So I can totally see designing something for that pattern, for that fabric. And this is the second piece. More looks like waves or something, right? Beautiful. Okay, and I bought a whole bunch of patterns. Let's start with the PDF ones. So I placed an order with Christy from Pixie, Pixie CrossStitch, directly from her own website. This is Hazel. By the way, all of these will turn into Asa. So I know they have like different names, but they will all be black cats. And this one is Lucy. I love this one. Sort of captures the spirit of my cat because he's the demon, really. And then this collection of Sinister Sweets. This one is Crusty. This one is Carmela. Just look at my face. Look at my face. And then I ordered some patterns from Stitchy Princess Black that I had these patterns on my wish list. So I just decided to purchase them. So this one is Kitchen. This one is Alice in Wonderland. And these are small. They're not that big. Okay. The Wizard of Oz. And Baba Yaga. And her cat. That's the reason why I bought the pattern. That little kitty here. Then Anna from PeruvianFlair had a new pattern out. I cannot pronounce this. I don't want to butcher how you pronounce this, but it's flowers. And she has stitched, model stitched this on one of Jessie's fabrics. And I'm probably going to do the same. I have a few pieces of Jessie's fabric in various colors, so I'm probably going to stitch this on one of those. Then I placed an order with Carla from Cobweb Corner because of this pattern, actually. So Michelle Bendy is starting a sale using Christie's pattern. And this is not offered on her website. So if you want to buy this, you have to buy it from a small shop or your local LNS. So yeah, Carla has this. So I was like, why not, right? It's a nursery rhyme, Mother Goose rhyme. It says, cross patch, draw the latch, sit by the fire and spin. Take a cup and drink it up. then call your neighbor in. I love the border. So beautiful. Those tiny mushrooms. Pretty. And then I don't know if I'm gonna actually stitch during this out. I might start it, so I'm gonna have like a, this is like a start along for me, not a stitch along. So probably gonna start it in month of December because that's when they start this sale. So probably gonna start it then. I'm not sure if I'm gonna end it and finish it then, but who knows. And it only takes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 colors. And then because that pattern cannot travel alone, you know, that's the rule. No pattern can travel alone. You need companion. So I bought companion. Both are from Rosewood Manor. This one is Friends Are Like Flowers. I love those flowers. It says, friends are like flowers. You can never have too many. Okay. And then this, and the forest grew. So I saw a few people actually stitching this, and the idea of, I've seen this before, but I never wanted to stitch it because of the coat in the middle. And but then I saw a few others stitching this and changing the coat in the middle to something else. So I will do the same. There is a poet, Iranian poet, Sohrab Sepehri, who's my favorite poet and has a lot of poems that I love and I grew up loving. I'm probably gonna find either gonna actually chart it in Farsi and have it in Farsi, or I will have a translation for that. I'm more tempted to have it in Farsi. Everyone is stitching things in English. I wanted to have it my way, right? And I'm planning on stitching these with all the leftover fabrics. Like, who cares, because these are all individual trees, right? So you can basically stitch them with any color you like. And the good thing about Rosewood Manor, like these kind of like booklets that you get, and this is like, it's a book, right? It comes with the small projects too. So these 3 are included. Also, there is another pattern that I don't have a cover photo for. It's called Bonus Mini Chart Forest Animal Sampler, which I like. So that too. So you basically you pay for one pattern, but what you get is, I'm getting 4 or 5 patterns with that, right? Good deal. So yeah, that's again, plan for future. I'm probably gonna see if I can start it next year. I don't know, I'm tempted to maybe make it a little smaller to have it more more manageable. This is so big. Let's see how big it is. Let me see. Where is the size? Oh yeah. I definitely need to make it smaller. This is 420 by 200. Whew. Too big. Yeah, I'm probably gonna see if I can make it smaller. And definitely, because I just received this, I don't have like a working copy, but I definitely I'm copying these. I will, yeah. All right. So these are all investments that I made. All that is left is a few suggestions for new to me. I mean, not all of them are new to me. For Flosstubers that I watch, that I see that they don't have enough subscribers. First one, I have 2 today. One is someone who has just started, so I'm not surprised that she doesn't have a lot of followers yet. But her name is Nikki, and her account is Nikki Stitchy. Right now she has one video up, and she has 408 subscribers, so 400 subscribers. And I love all the projects she worked on, especially how she is working on her full coverage. I mean, she is brave. She color completes her project. I'm like, what? So it's like it's amazing to see, because these like splashes of color, I'm assuming if you follow her over the time that she's stitching on the projects, you see those like growing and growing and turning into different shapes, because right now they're just splatters of like little bits and pieces of different random colors all over. Yeah, I can never. So that's why she's really interesting to me, like just watching her, and I'm hoping that she continues sharing her progress on those projects. Yeah, Nikki Stitchy, follow her. The other one is Sebastian, B's and T's Stitching. He has been on Flosstube for a while. Only has 400 subscribers, 401 subscribers, but he just recently uploaded his most recent Flosstube, and it's video number 116. Right? So 116 videos, and he only has 400 subscribers. Why? So he also goes over various of WIPs, and also has a fluffy black cat, which I'm you know, adore. I love to see her like in the background sitting like a shadow, like a fluffy shadow. And also he loves bees too, and otters. So if you're interested in any of those things, Sebastian is your guy. So I highly recommend his videos and his vibe and all of that. He's really friendly, and that's one of the people that I hope to see one day in person, if I ever, because he goes to a lot of different events and stuff and retreats. I have never been in any. I mean, I'm new to stitching, but I'm super introvert, so for me to go to a retreat will be a big deal. So but he's one of the people that I hope to see in person one day. All right, that's it. So please like, subscribe, leave me your recommendations of channels you're enjoying and you're watching. I hope you stitch as much or as little as you want or you can, and that even if it's one stitch, it's enjoyable for you. So other than that, I hope to see you sometime in December before the end of year to talk about 2023 plans. Take care, everyone. Bye.